Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another exciting episode of the First Things First podcast.
As always, we're so excited that you guys have decided to join us for yet another exciting episode. This is still Bonnie.
And this is still Amanda.
We're still your hosts.
And as you guys do know, I'm a firm believer of telepathic communication. So what I decided to do is bring in an animal communicator, but she's not just an animal communicator, she's also a rescue hero. So guys, please help me welcome Cherece.
Hello. Hi, Cherece.
Hi. How are you?
Good, and you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
And I'm sure people at home would be curious. When did you start falling in love with cats?
Well, I've been, I was allergic to cats all my life.
Oh,
And I was,
that's interesting.
yes. So I would never be able to walk into a house where there was a cat. So one day I just started working in the veterinary industry and someone brought in a stray kitten. And he was about 10 days old. So that was my first little rescue. His name was Keto. And sadly, Keto didn't survive.
Shame, man.
But then I went and rescued another cat named Lily. And Lily, actually, she's still alive today. She is now 19 years old. So she's seen me through my whole rescue journey.
What?
Yes, yeah.
19 years.
Right?
Yeah, and the allergies just went away.
Really? Like you didn't take anything?
Sometimes if we get new cats in, then yes, sometimes I'm allergic to them, but I'm actually not anymore. I can go into a house where there's cats and I don't have the allergies. So I have no idea how that happened. But
Divine intervention, right?
Divine intervention. Yes, so that's how my rescue journey started, with the one rescue kitten. And then I got Lily, and Lily needed a friend. So then I got Cody, and then it just kind of spiraled from there.
And you say you were allergic to cats, so you didn't grow up with cats?
No, I didn't. I only got my first. Keto was my first cat, and I was in my 20s.
Yes.
Keto changed my whole life. He changed the path of my life, and I'm forever grateful to him, even though he did not survive. He made a very big impact in my life and in a lot of other animals' life after that. So, yeah.
And how old was Keto when he passed away?
Keto was 6 weeks old, so I'd hand-reared him from 10 days old, and he got a disease called coccidia, and unfortunately coccidia kills kittens very quickly, and unfortunately when I rushed him through to the vet, they said there wasn't much they could do for him. So from when he was diagnosed until his passing was less than 24 hours.
Shame,
So,
man.
yeah, it was very quick.
And how long after Keto passed did you get your second one?
Lily, I think it was about 2 weeks.
Oh, you didn't wait.
No, I didn't wait. I was like, I need my cat now.
Was Lily a rescue as well?
So, yes, Lily I got from the SPCA. She's absolutely beautiful. She is so old now. She's deaf. And I think she's busy going blind. But, I mean, she's seen so many cats come through our doors. So she's the matriarch of the family.
So Lily is basically also a rescue hero, hey?
Yes, yes.
In her own capacity.
I think, yes, Keto sort of started it, but Lily was like, she was the catalyst of
the
everything.
mother of all.
Yes.
And how did she adapt to all the kittens that you brought in? Was there anything you had to change?
She was always absolutely fine. I never had an issue with her. And I think at some point she was just like, oh, God, not another one.
Here she goes again.
Here she goes again. And, she was a real trooper. She always has been. So she suffers from dementia now as well. So, but, she had a very big impact just as much as Keto.
She is definitely mother of all, hey?
Yes, no, definitely.
And is she very maternal to the cats that you bring in?
Kind of I think she got tired of rolling her eyes, so now she just
Another one.
Yeah,
Another one.
another one. Yes, because I mean, we started off as a kitten rescue, and then we kind of evolved into a normal adult rescue center, and then from there on, I started with special needs.
Okay.
So yeah, so now I'm absolutely passionate about blind cats. So that's what we focus on. Yes.
That's a unique one.
That
hey?
is a very unique
Yes.
one.
So blind cats, they are special needs, but they can be extremely challenging in the fact that they love to be high up. So I've always got blind cats sitting in trees, and
Also, you always have to have your eye on
yeah, you
them.
always have to have your eye on them. They're very independent, so I'm not too stressed about them all the time. I just have to make sure they eat.
Yeah.
But I mean, they walk around and climb, and I don't limit them.
That's nice.
Yes.
So, with you guys being like a rescue organization, I'm sure there are challenges that you also face. What type of challenges do you face?
Mostly the financial side of things. The problem comes in, a lot of people think that we just need food, but we also need to keep the area clean.
That's true.
And the funds aren't really there, especially for cat rescue organizations and your smaller organizations. There isn't a lot of support. So we have to constantly put appeals out, and then people kind of forget about us again. Then we have to put more appeals out. And it does become embarrassing for all little rescuers and rescue organizations. And, it's really sad that especially cat rescue gets overlooked. So when we get donations or someone brings in a whole lot of donations, then you'll kind of see that there's always more dog products than cat products. So that is, where the sad part comes in.
And would you say, you obviously being now a rescue that deals mostly with special needs, that you get more obviously challenges than your normal cat rescue, if that makes sense?
Yes, so our vet bills are a lot higher. We also have specialized diets for many of our other special needs cats. So we do have some that are semi-paralyzed, deaf. Some are just a little bit slow. So yes, I've got different ones, and some have no teeth. So all of that takes specialized food, specialized vet visits. We sometimes have to have their eyes removed to prevent further infection later on. So what sometimes happens is they go blind in one eye, but if the eye doesn't get infected the whole time, we won't remove that eye. But the eye removal surgeries are extremely expensive.
Can only imagine.
Yeah. And we don't just take the eyes out because we feel like it. It's when it's absolutely medically necessary. So, yes.
I would also like to rescue pets in the long run. And let's just say I do decide to rescue pets or cats or dogs. What advice would you give me? Like, for example, if someone at home would also like to join in or maybe assist you guys as well, what advice would you give them before they start the rescue organization or to start rescue pets?
I think the best thing to do is to foster. So when you start off, foster, and then you kind of get a feel for what rescue is all about. If you jump in and you just start grabbing everything and like all the cats or dogs that you can find, and because you want to rescue them and you've got a good heart, you don't know enough about rescue in order to do things properly.
Oh, yes.
And that is a mistake a lot of people make. So it's very, very important that you do fostering first for a reputable organization. There are some organizations that are not reputable. So make sure that that organization is willing to help you and look after you as a foster parent.
Okay.
But I wouldn't just jump into doing rescue.
Okay. And do you guys allow people to foster any of your kittens?
We used to, but now, because it's only special needs, we don't take on, we don't have foster parents.
Okay.
Foster parents are rare as well, especially when it comes to cats. You know, that is one very big need that is not filled at all. Our foster parents will not, you know, foster parents in general are extremely valuable to rescue. So, yeah, it's a difficult one. So, because what happens is the fosters fall in love with the cats or
And
dogs they get.
Foster failure.
They become foster failures, and then it just snowballs from there, and then we lose our foster homes.
When are you bringing back the cat?
Yeah.
Bring it back.
You can have another one.
Not this one.
No, not that one. You know,
Have you ever had that experience?
all the time. I lost, when we were still a kitten rescue, I lost so many fosters. It was insane.
Yes.
So yeah, it's eventually I was just like, you know, this is bad. This is really bad.
Yeah.
And my policy was, you know, when the kitten went up for adoption, we would give the fosters the option to adopt, you know, because they are pre-approved as a suitable home. So we would say to them, okay, you've got first choice of adoption. And I think that's where I made a mistake.
Yeah. They'll always take the option. They'll never take no for no.
Yes. So, yeah, it was quite sad that I lost so many, but yes.
I mean, they went to good homes, so.
Yeah, they did. But, you know, when I phone them again, I'm like, hi, can you help with this kitten? They're just like, no, sorry, I've got enough cats now.
Because they know they're not going to be able to give it back.
True. And, you know, I'm one of the biggest foster failures as well, because I would have to rehome kittens. And then I'm like, no, but I really like this one, you know. And then the next
They're so
one
used to
comes, I'm
me.
like, really like this one. So it became a bit of a repetitive thing. That's why we closed the kitten rescue side of things.
So if you hadn't closed the kitten rescue, you would be
Yeah, no, things
in the hundreds now.
Yes, things would be in the hundreds now. I would say thousands. Probably.
Not bad.
Yeah, we actually got over. Why? We actually had, while we were doing kitten rescue, we had over 1,000 kittens come through our doors and rehomed. Yes.
What year did you guys actually start to rescue? Like how
What
many?
year was 2007 is when we officially opened Second Chance Sanctuary.
So 1,000 does make sense then.
It does.
It's been a
yes,
while.
Yes. So it's not, and kitten season, I mean, the most kittens we had up for adoption in one go was 50. That was 50 kittens that were available for adoption at one time.
Sure, that is a big number.
It's a very big number, and financially, I actually don't know how we did it. I really don't. To this day, it boggles the mind.
Well done. Well done to you guys.
I won't do that ever again. It's just, no, it was too intense.
Sure, I can
So,
imagine though.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of work as well, because I'm sure you guys used to do like background checks and all that.
Yes, so we all do background checks. Any reputable organisation will always do a background, not a background check, we call them home checks. So that's just basically to go to the home, to see that, you know, all the other animals are sterilized, how they're treated, you know, just to make sure that they're going to a suitable home.
Yeah.
We also do worry about pools when they're still kittens. So we have to look if there's pool covers. So it's all these little things that we have to look at. We can't just go and say, okay, you can have a kitten. There we go.
Yes.
We have to physically go to the place and see, or send someone. So say, for instance, I'm homing a kitten to Johannesburg. I will have to find a reputable home checker in Johannesburg to go and do the home check. And then the pet new parents will actually organize to get the kitten up to Johannesburg.
Sure, and I can imagine doing that for 50
kittens and what time?
Not all of them went to Joburg. So
I feel like it's still a lot, even if it's around Durban, like going to each home, because they're not obviously not going to be in the same area.
Yes. And it's not like a one-day thing as well.
No. And, we always encourage people to adopt more than one, so 2 at a time, because kittens don't do well on their own. Cats are actually social. People think that cats aren't social animals. They are. And adopting 2 is always better than adopting 1, because they can have behavioral issues later in life. So they always do better in pairs, because they keep each other company. They don't wake their parents up in the middle of the night. They can play with each other, keep each other occupied. So, it's a comfort thing for them as well. So we always used to encourage that they get home together.
Okay. So you've been in the rescue industry for a while, since 2007, you say?
Yes,
That
so
is
it's 19 years.
Oh my God. That is a very long time.
It's incredible how fast time goes. It feels like I just started the other day.
Yeah. And I'm sure you've seen like a lot of heartwarming and heartbreaking stories in terms of when you had to rescue. What is one story that has stuck with you?
So it was both a heartbreaking and a heartwarming story. It's actually a story about the kitten was brought to me on Christmas Eve. And I had just gone through a very bad illness, and for some reason this kitten was brought to me. So her eyes were protruding and they were basically popped out of her sockets. But she was so malnourished that they couldn't do the emergency surgery to remove her eyes. So she had to get to 300 grams. She was only 150 grams when she came to me. So we managed to get her weight up, and on the 2nd of January, she went and had both her eyes removed, and she was in absolutely horrific condition. And I named her Ragnar, and she was absolutely amazing. I mean, she was so confident, overly confident at times. But, the way she just took being blind in her stride, she never... You could see it never bothered her to be blind. And that's where I realized, blind cats, they do deserve a chance. They're not that difficult to look after if you know what you're doing and you understand their behavior. So, for instance, a blind cat won't meow at all. Yeah.
Is there a reason for that?
Yes, so cats actually generally only meow at people. Yes, it's actually, cats learned early on, thousands of years ago, that if they meow at people, it mimics the sound of a baby crying, and the chances of them actually finding food that way or getting fed. So that just kind of became the way a cat is. So they'll call, but there's a difference between meowing and calling.
Okay.
But your blind cats will generally not meow at a person. So, they'll call sometimes. Adults don't really call. That's where the problem comes in. If you've got a feral blind cat, say, hiding in a tree or something, and you call them, they generally won't. They won't call back. So it's quite interesting, because they don't see you, so they don't necessarily feel the need to call you or meow at you.
And you did mention that you guys don't put any of your cats up for adoption now, right? You used to do it before, but right now you're not doing it.
Yes.
So if someone would want to assist your organization, how can they assist? What assistance are you guys looking for?
So mostly, because we know a lot of people don't want to contribute financially all the time, because, there's a lot of scam artists around.
Yes.
We encourage people to maybe use the Checker 6060 app or the Pick and Pay ASAP app, and you can send cleaning stuff or, food, whatever you think would be helpful to us. You can just, if you can't drop it off yourself, then you can send a driver to come and drop it off, and we have had quite a lot of people do that for us as well, which is really nice. If you can contribute financially, if you're hesitant to make a donation into the organization's account, then you can actually put it into the veterinary account.
Okay.
That way you know that an organization cannot withdraw that money and use it for any other purpose except for veterinary bills. But, also financial donations into the rescue organization bank account is also extremely helpful. Just make sure you do your homework before you actually pay any funds and, see what they are about. Don't feel bad asking, phoning them and say to them, what do you do? Just have a conversation with them and say, obviously not like an hour-long conversation, but just kind of get a feel for who you're donating to. Organizations should always be willing to let you see the animals if you want to come and have a visit. But because we run our rescue center from home, we tend to do via appointment only. So, it's always open to come and see, but you need to make an appointment. I mean, it is our home after all.
That makes sense.
I don't want like random people down my driveway.
I'm here to check.
How's it?
Makes perfect sense. As Bonnie mentioned earlier, Cherece is not only a rescue hero, so we have gone deep into her rescue journey. And so stay tuned for part 2 where we go into her actual animal communication, which I know you are super excited for.
Can't wait.
That is your favorite part.
Can't wait.
So stay tuned next Friday for the animal communication part.